Hello, church family and friends. It's 2 Minute Tuesday. As many of you know, this fall on Sunday mornings, our congregation has been studying faith practices, the behaviors that form us as believers. Now, these practices could be described as prescriptive. That is, they are habits that are prescribed or mandated, and they promise an expected outcome. If you engage in these behaviors, you can expect over the course of the year to grow closer to Christ and become more like Christ. That being said, there are habits of the Christian life that are also descriptive. That is, they are the behavioral results of the Holy Spirit's work in our hearts and our minds. Acts chapter 2 ends with a list of these behaviors. The chapter begins with the outpouring of the Holy Spirit at Pentecost, and the chapter ends with a description of the communal habits the Holy Spirit produced in the first Christians. These continue to be the defining habits of the Christian church. If the Holy Spirit has taken up residence in your heart, this is what your life looks like in community. Listen, they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, to the breaking of bread and to prayer. Everyone was filled with awe at the many wonders and signs performed by the apostles. All the believers were together and had everything in common. They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need. Every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favor of all the people. And the Lord added to their number daily those who were being saved. So the defining behaviors of Spirit-inspired corporate Christianity are Bible teaching and study, communion, corporate prayer, giving and service, public worship, in-home fellowship, community outreach, and gospel sharing. Now, again, our temptation is to hear this list as a prescription. If you want to be a good Christian, if you want to qualify as being a Christian, then you have to do these things. And when we look at the list as prescriptive, that's the point at which we start to question it or to cut things out, to say, do I really need to go to Sunday morning worship? Can I not be a Christian and refrain from small group fellowship or Bible study? That's the point at which we call into question these behaviors. But when we see this list of habits as a description, this is simply what your life looks like as the Holy Spirit takes up residence in your heart and starts to change you. Then we stop strategizing about what we can cut out, and we start asking ourselves, what habits are missing and why? The list of habits from the end of Acts 2 becomes a self-assessment tool, an inventory. If I'm not engaged in small group fellowship, if I'm not regularly partaking of the Lord's Supper, if I'm not attending worship services, if I'm not having gospel conversations with those outside the church, what does that say about the state of my spirit? What does it say about the status of my heart connection with Jesus Christ? So this is the invitation of this passage. Take another look at the list of Spirit-inspired habits. Then take an inventory of your life. Invite the Holy Spirit to move into your heart and invite him to move you into new habits.